Hey guys, in this video we will learn how to create heat distortion effect for mobile games. And by using our shader, we can turn this into this. So let's begin. There are a lot of AAA games who are using this trick to make their game more emerging for the player. This kind of effect can be used for the campfire, cinematic shots, and anywhere they want to show the heat intensity or warmth in the game environment and many more. First, we need to set up the render pipeline. First, we need to go to the Windows and then to Project Manager. After that, we need to search for Universal Render Pipeline and install it. After it getting installed, we need to go to Edits and to Project Settings. As you can see in the graphics tab, there is no render pipeline attached to it. So we need to create our own by going to create render universal render pipeline and forward render pipeline. Now we need to assign it to the graphics tab and into the quality tab. And now we are done for the render pipeline, and let's move on to the shader making. So let's start by creating our own unlit shader graph and then rename it to whatever you like. I'm going with the heat distortion. Now simply double click on it to open it or just enter it. I hide the main preview just to have a little bit more space. So now let's start creating a simple noise effect. First, I create tiling and offset node and connect it with the UV parameter of simple noise. After that, I just change the scale of it to 40. Group both of them for much cleaner shader graph. Take the output of noise node and connect it to the P parameter of add node, and also create a screen position node and connect it to the A parameter of add node. After that, take the end result of add node and connect it to the B parameter of lerp node. And top of it, connect the output of a screen position node to the A parameter of lerp node. By doing so, now we need to control the heat distortion amount, and we can do that by creating a vector1 parameter in the properties tab and rename it to heat distortion. Give it a default value of 1 and drag and drop the heat distortion parameter into the viewport and connect it to the T parameter of the lerp node. Last but not least, connect the lerp node output parameter to the screen color node and connect the output value of screen color node to the color parameter of unlit master node. And then go to the setting of unlit master node surface type to transparent and make it two-sided. Now our basic heat distortion shader is ready. Save the asset and jump into the screen tab. Here you need to create a simple plane. Create a simple material and apply it on to the plane. And on material, click shader and go to the shader graph and select the heat effect. And voila! As you can see, our heat distortion effect is working pretty fine. The only thing now we need to adjust is its strength. Rather than putting a number for strength of heat distortion, let's make it a slider. Now let's create a simple animation for our heat distortion effect. Create a simple time node and connect its time output to P parameter of multiply node. Now we need to control the speed of the heat distortion. We can do that by creating vector1 and name it to distortion speed. Also convert it to the slider with the maximum value of 20 and default value of 1. Now let's drag and drop it into the viewport and connect it to the A parameter of multiplier node. Now just simply connect the multiplier node to the offset input of tiling and offset. Here I just select all the screen position work and put them in a group for a much more cleaner shader graph. Also made a group for the animation nodes. Now let's just save the asset and see what the final results will look like. As you can see, the animation of heat distortion effect is working perfectly fine. So now the only problem that we are left with is the hard edges around the plane. So let's fix it by adding a alpha map or maybe a simple black and white pop texture. So back in shader graph, we need to create a texture 2D in a properties panel and name it to alpha texture. Now simply just drag and drop into the viewport and connect it with the sample texture 2D node. And then just simply take the RGBA input of it and connect it with the A parameter of multiplier node. Then take the noise output of it and connect it with the B parameter, and simply just take the output of it and connect it with the add node. By doing so, now you just need to give it a simple black and white pop texture, and now you can see the difference. So guys, here is the final result. Hope so you learned thing or two from this video, and see you in the next one.